Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Teresa, and in today's video I'm going to share with you some tips and tricks to paint a floral bouquet, and it's easier than you think. So without further ado, let's get started. Hello again, I hope you are doing well. Here are all the materials that I'll be using for today's painting. This is watercolor Mungyo pen set, and the paper is B100% cotton cold brush. I also have two brushes, the Princeton round brush size 10 and size 12, and the other is size 8. Mostly I will be using size 12 for the whole painting. Maybe just use a small brush for a little detail if I need. The first step before painting is to look for inspiration and ideas. I usually go to Pinterest to look for floral bouquet images, and if there is anything I like, I usually save it into a board for future preference. So this is the one that I've been very liking lately, and I save it to my board. So I am going to use that photo image for this inspiration and idea for today's painting. And here is the photo. I usually save it to my camera roll in the iPhone, and I will go to edit, and I try to rotate the image into different angles for composition. So every new angles you will have the idea of a new composition that you may you may use for your floral bouquet. So as you can see here, if I rotate it this way, you will have a new composition. So you can do the same thing if you want to look for an the idea to compose a floral bouquet. So I think I'm gonna keep it as original since I really like how it looks here. And I also really like the color palette of this bouquet, so I am going to reference the color for my painting as well. Okay, the first step is done. We already have the image to reference. The next steps I would suggest is to have practice of the flowers that you want to use in your floral bouquet. Here I have a sheet, I call it like a cheat sheet of all the flowers that I can use for my bouquet. I also have video tutorials that show you how to paint all of these flowers. If you're interested, you can check the description below. So as you can see in this, on the paper, that there are about 11 flowers, and they come in different sizes, some big and some small. So I am thinking that some of the big flowers I can use for the main pieces of the bouquet, and for some of the small one like wild flowers I can use as the fillers. And you can see here we have lavender, we have berries, have goldenrod. These are all the flowers, very easy to paint, and they are such a nice touch to add into the floral bouquet. And now let's get started into the painting. So as usual, I am going to wet my paint first, and the first step is to look at the reference photo. I think that this I think that's probably the magenta colors right here. It's like a purplish pink, looks very attractive, so I definitely will reference that color for my floral bouquet. So, and then I look at my watercolor of the flowers that I have painted before, and I think that for that flowers I can use, for example, I can use anemone, or I can use peonies or dahlia. These are the big flower that you can use as the main pieces for the bouquet. Alright, so I think I am going to go with peonies. I know that it's very intimidating to start on a blank page, especially with a floral bouquet. Sometimes we don't know where to start, and the fear of ruining the whole paintings. I feel the same too, but my only advice is, it might sound cliche, it's just just do it. Don't overthink it. And it's just a paper. You can always start over again. And now, as you can see, I started painting my first flower, which is the peony. I have just eyeball. You can tell that in the reference photo, the pink flowers kind of look up and it's more toward to the left side. So I also follow it closely. So for my first flowers, this is not really a tutorial on how to paint a certain flowers. If you want to the tutorial of how to paint all these flowers, you can also watch my previous video. But here I am just give you the idea and on how to compose a floral bouquet with watercolor. Alright, so we're done with the first flower. For the second one, I am going to add a rose, a very light baby pink rose, just like how it shown in the reference photo. This was a very light baby flowers under the dark pink flowers, more toward to the right. So I am going to choose to paint rose, and it also looked like that in the reference photo that flower is rose too. And I am totally comfortable to paint rose, and rose is something that I always paint all the time for all my flower bouquet. And for the third one, I decided to paint anemone. It's represent for the orange flowers that I see in the reference photo. That also underneath the dark pink, but more toward to the left. And so far, as you can see, I don't really overthink. I don't really do any sketches beforehand. I just have look at the reference photo, look at how all of the flowers are arranged and follow closely. Of course, it's not a copy 100% exactly like the reference photo. I just kind of choose whatever flowers that I like, and I just kind of follow its arrangement. And I think that is the easiest way for beginners to start painting a flower bouquets, because I know it's kind of difficult actually. But for these reference photo, it's posted by those flower shop, and they have people that specializes in flower arrangement. They do all the flower bouquets, take the picture, post it online for sale. So of course it is nicely done in terms of arrangement, so you can trust that by referencing these photo you can compose a nice and lovely flower bouquet without thinking too much. Okay, at this stage we have 3 main flowers, and I think 3 is a good number for flower bouquets. Now is the time to add some fillers to fill in the in-between spaces. I see that there's some lavender colors. I'm not sure if it's a lavender, but it has lavender color and some bluish color right there, acts like a fillers for the bouquet. So I will reference those. I would choose lavender because lavender is one of my favorite flowers to paint, and it's also very easy. It's always good to have reference photo. I am the one who always use reference photo to paint. It's hard for me to just paint out my imagination. And Pinterest is my go-to place to look for reference photo. But the only thing you need to know is that on Pinterest, these photos are not a copyright-free photos, and sometimes we don't even know the real authors of these photos are. They have just repaint so many times, and yeah, it's hard to know who is the actual authors behind these photos. So when you look for the image on Pinterest, I highly suggest that it's just for inspiration and idea, not for copy exactly, because these are, as I say, not copyright free photo. But in case you really like to paint, from a reference image, I highly suggest you go to those websites such as unblash.com or pixabay.com. Those are the website that has copyright free photo for people to use. So yeah, definitely go to those websites if you want to paint exactly like the reference photo. Okay, and now back to the painting. At this stage, I don't really need to look at the reference photo anymore. You see that I am just kind of adding more leaves in between and add more layers into those flowers to give them more definitions. And I am just kind of have fun and follow my intuition and adding leaves, fillers where I think they need to be. And yeah, that's pretty much the whole process how I paint a flower bouquet. I hope that it is simple and straightforward enough to help you get started and give it a try. I know that this is just only one method out of others. There's a lot of methods out there. Some are more advanced that involves in kind of color theories, balance, what else I want to say, color theory, balance, value. But the purpose of this video is to help beginners to conquer their fear and start on a blank page. So yeah, I really hope that you will give this one a try. And this is the final step. This is optional. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. I'm just use yellow wash to add the center for the peonies. And yeah, that's it. And now I'm done with the floral bouquet. And before we finish, I just want to show you some of the paintings that I've done before, also using the same images. But like I mentioned at the beginning, I kept to rotate the image to get a different angles of the flower arrangement. And these are of the painting that I created from the same image. As you can see here, you don't really need to have a lot of photos. You don't really need to have like complicated photos or need to follow exactly like the reference photo, but just look at it, get some idea, choose whatever you like, follows, and you will have a lovely and beautiful flower bouquet with watercolor. And that's pretty much it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you do, please give me a thumbs up. That would help my video reach more people, and subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this. And thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye.